This conference will now be recorded.
So we'll be learning completely about DevOps, like what is DevOps, why DevOps came into picture, why should we learn DevOps, who are eligible to learn DevOps, if I want to make a switch in my career, is it possible? So all of these questions will be answered today. This is like an overview or a big picture of DevOps. Today we'll be spending some time trying to understand and getting a big picture of what DevOps is all about. Okay, that is the agenda of today. And when we talk about the complete course, this course is completely practical oriented, like a job oriented training. Meaning we'll be doing complete hands-on, we'll be building the CI/CD pipeline from the scratch, we'll implement. See, it's not just learning a DevOps, we know like it's a set of tools. It's not just learning the tools and move on, or just learn the tool, we are done. No, we'll be learning the tools and put all these tools together in proper action, how it works in a project, how do we implement the tools in a project. We'll see the real picture of how DevOps strategy is implemented. We'll be implementing the complete strategy CI/CD pipeline from beginning to the end. End-to-end pipeline will be created on multiple applications so that you will get a great understanding so that you can clear your interviews and work on the projects independently. That's the main agenda of the course. And yeah, I have trained quite number of people by now, and majority of my students were successfully placed in DevOps projects. Also, some of them, there were people who got multiple offers. So this training is well and good. It was well structured, well designed with all my experience. So that definitely this will help you to clear your interviews, to make a move, to get into DevOps role. Right. So all it needs from your end is your effort, your dedication. Right. Do complete hands-on every day. When you are doing hands-on, if you have any questions, I'll be providing support from my end through WhatsApp. We'll be creating a WhatsApp group for our batch so that we can all interact during the hands-on and stay motivated till the end, which is very important because people get or people be more enthusiastic and motivated in the beginning, but eventually lose it as we progress. But to keep motivated till the end is a challenge here. So for that, we'll have a WhatsApp group so that we'll be interacting with one another by posting your queries, by posting your screenshots when you do the hands-on, so that we'll stay motivated till the end, till we achieve our goal. So yeah, let's now try to understand what is DevOps, why DevOps came into picture. Okay, and one more thing is, yeah, this course is designed for anyone. Like you might be a fresher, you might be an experienced person, you might be come from a completely different background. But still, this course will help you because everything will be going from the basics to advanced concepts. We don't jump into some XYZ concepts without basic, right? So yeah, let's get started. Yes, complete real scenarios will be done on multiple applications, Abhishek, so that you will see the real working functionality of each tool. We'll be implementing it on multiple projects. All the real scenarios will be covered. Okay, so slowly things fall into the place. In day one or day two, you can't master. Slowly you can connect the dates and you put together. Yeah, any questions you have, you want to ask me, you can also put them on hold as we progress. Many of your questions might be answered. Still not? Yes, you can unmute and speak out. So let's get started, and I request everyone to please your log in with your name so that I can address you better. I can see your name. So please log in with your name rather than some random names like system names. Please put your names when you join the webinar. All right, yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about the agenda of today, like I'm talking about. We'll be seeing a big picture of DevOps, like overview of DevOps. And also we'll get an understanding of roles and responsibilities of a DevOps engineer, what a DevOps person will do, what are his roles and responsibilities, and also we'll be working on CI/CD pipeline, and we'll be working on DevOps tools and the skill set. Right, these are the things we'll be discussing today. Yeah, let's get started. We'll try to understand what is DevOps. Majority of you might be having some idea about it. Maybe some of you might be new. Yeah, let's understand. Let's try to understand this thoroughly. See, whenever we see this term DevOps, whenever we hear this term DevOps, we can clearly see it's a combination of two terms, right? Like development team and operations team. It's a combination of two teams. And yeah, like we know that who are developers and who are ops team, but let us try to analyze the things much detail. Like development team, we know like they are called programmers or developers, right? Who write the program, who write the code. Also, they'll be involved in building the application. They'll be involved in releasing the application and so on. Let's say, yes, this is a development team. Of course, I'm including QA also here, testers also here. Testers write the, I mean, test the functionality of the code and all, right? And when you talk about ops teams, yes, admins, network technicians, DBA, all come under this ops teams. And what are the major tasks? They'll be taking care of the servers, services running on those servers, networks, logins, access. I'm sorry. All of them will be taken care by this ops teams, isn't it? So yeah, these are the major tasks performed by ops. In short, we can say infrastructure management is taken care by ops team. Infrastructure management, infrastructure maintenance will be taken care by ops team. And yeah, developers, like I said, they'll be writing the programs, they work on coding, they work on designing the logic and so on. Also, QA people also I have included here, they'll test the application. Right? They check whether the application is meeting the requirements, functional requirements of the client or not. So let's say, okay, developers have to write some code, or else, okay, testers have to run some test cases. So whatever task they need to perform, they need some infrastructure, correct? So if they need any infrastructure or else they need any change in the infrastructure, they would request the ops team. And ops team should serve the request of dev team and QA team by providing the infrastructure they need. Am I correct? Just give me a second, please. So yes, ops team would serve the request of dev team. And before ops team serve the request of development team, they would do lot many checks. If this change is made, is the infrastructure going to be stable? Are the services going to be up and running? Are the logins access going to be working as before? So they will do lot many checks, because if something goes wrong, they should be able to handle it, right? So basically, ops team will be looking after stability in the infrastructure. And before they serve the request, they do lot many checks. Meanwhile, development team, QA team are waiting for the change they need. Ops teams are still working on the changes, right? So they are waiting for the changes they need. Here, if you look into each team, these are all different teams working in the same process of building an application. Let's talk about some online shopping application we use in our daily life, like Amazon.com or Facebook, some social networking websites, whatever it is, right? If you talk about any application, before it reaches the end users means the final users of the application. Before it reaches the end users, it goes through lot many process, and there are lot many teams involved. Like we were talking about teams like dev team, QA team, ops team. So different teams work for the same process of developing and delivering the application, but still they're still working for the same process. Their areas of expertise, their core competencies are different. See, if you talk about developers, they know the programming languages, they know some database, they know build tools and all. Ops teams will be more into deployments, operations tasks, configuring and all, right? So their core skills, their areas of expertise are different, but they are still working in the same process, right? Hence there arises some gap between the teams, because developers really don't know why ops teams are keeping them waiting, why ops teams are taking a lot of time to serve the requests. Similarly, ops teams are not sure why developers are always requesting some change in the infrastructure. Why can't they use the same existing infrastructure? They don't know, because Like I said, their core skills, their areas of expertise, their core competencies are different. Even though they work for the same process, they are all three different teams. Hence, definitely there arises some gap between the teams because of no proper communication, because of, like I said, their areas of expertise are different, right? There arises some gap between the teams. So how to eliminate this gap? How to overcome this gap? How can we make these teams collaborate well? How can we make these teams work together as a single team? Is it possible? How can we achieve it? We should achieve it. We should make the teams work collaboratively well so that we can expect quality products. So how can we achieve this? Is it possible? So how to eliminate the gap between the teams? This is one of the reasons why DevOps came in. Yes, we are talking about reasons why DevOps came in. Why do we need DevOps? This is one of the reasons. This is not the only reason. This is the one of the reason why DevOps came in, to eliminate the gap between the teams. And what are the other reasons? Yeah, let me talk about other reasons. Okay, developer wrote the code. Okay, they build the application is ready, like code is ready. Now they have handed this application to QA team. They have executed some test cases, whatever. Again, there are different types of testing, levels of testing. We are least bothered because we are not developer, we are not a tester. So yes, they'll test the application. If they find any defects, they'll report to development team. Again, they'll make changes, they'll fix those bugs, send it to QA team. This process keep on continuing till the application is defect free or bug free. Means yes, it is tested thoroughly, there were no defects, no bugs. Then this application will be handed over to ops teams. See, I'm talking about a traditional approach. I'm not talking about DevOps yet. So in the traditional approach, yes, it will be handed over to ops team. They will take care of deploying this application and providing this application to end user. End user means the final user of the application. So before the application goes to end users, ops team have to deploy it. Means yes, they have to get the infrastructure ready, they have to configure the infrastructure, and they have to install all the softwares required to run this application. Let's say this application is Java version 11, so they should make sure Java 11 is installed. Also, they have to install it on multiple operating systems like Windows, Linux, and those installation steps may be different on Windows and Linux and so on. And of course, development team, here dev and QA I'm putting together. So dev team, when they hand over the application to ops team, they'll also provide some instruction document on what packages should be installed, what services should be installed for this application. But still, like I said, this both the teams, their core skills are different. Their areas of expertise are different. So this instruction document may not be properly understood by ops team, or else might have been understood differently. Sometimes those instructions may not be working in reality. So there will be a lot of challenges. So ops teams have to handle all of them and deploy the application, and so the application reaches the end user. So you can see all the steps, all the challenges, which takes a lot of time. That's why deployment is not happening immediately. Even the application is ready. For it to reach the end users, it takes quite a lot of time. How to make these deployments faster? How to increase the velocity of deployments? That's where again DevOps came in. Yes, DevOps can make the deployments faster. How DevOps can make deployments faster? By use of the tools. That's where tools are used. There is a lot of tool stack for DevOps which helps in automating the deployments by eliminating all these showers. It helps in deployments faster, automatic deployments without manual intervention, no manual intervention. Whenever developer wrote the code, it goes to the complete automation process and reaches the end users, reaches the production table. How is it possible? Yes, that's what is DevOps. We need to learn this complete automation process of how application is reaching the end users without manual intervention. So what are the process involved? What are the strategies implemented? What are the tools used? That's what we'll be learning, which makes deployments faster, which increases the velocity of deployments. Am I making sense? Any questions in this part from anyone? Any questions? Were you all good? Is that all clear?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for confirming. You can unmute and speak out. Let's have an interactive session so that we can have energized sessions. All right, so deployments should be faster, right? So yeah, there should be no manual intervention. Means, yeah, I'll talk about that in what is DevOps. Okay, I'll talk about this in more detail in what is DevOps. So first, let's talk about only the reasons. So yes, why DevOps came in: to eliminate the gap between the teams, to make the deployments faster, to automate the deployments to production, and then what else? Yes, to overcome the challenges posed by traditional software methodologies. Yes, you might have heard about the software traditional methodology called as SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. If anyone new here, let me give you a brief. A software development lifecycle is nothing but sequence of activities involved in developing. Like first, it is requirement gathering. Once requirements were gathered, it was requirement analysis. Then you have design. Okay, then you have coding, deployment or delivery. Coding and delivery, right? So coding, of course, testing, and then delivery and release. So here each phase goes one after the other in a sequential manner in only one direction, and hence it's called waterfall methodology. Yes, I'm talking about typical methodology which served the industry for decades. So it just goes in one direction. This methodology has posed challenges for both development team and ops team. See, this methodology is very slow, correct? So let's say you are in analysis phase. There is no going back and requirement gathering. Means there is no going back. Suppose you are in coding, client comes with new requirements, they are not acceptable. If that is the case, it doesn't work in reality, because today almost all the clients keep on coming up with new requirements. If this is the case, it doesn't work in reality, right? So it's a very slow methodology, and yes, it's not flexible enough. Yes, it's not flexible to handle new requirements or modifications. If coding is done today, testing would begin after 6 months or so. Meanwhile, developers will be working on new code. They have to keep this new code aside, fix the bugs in the old code. A lot of pressure on developers. Not flexible. Complete software will be delivered all at once after 2 years. Like I said, requirements were given on 2020. Product will be delivered on 2022 without accepting any requirements in between. Requirements are freezed. If that is the case, it doesn't work. Business is rapidly changing. It's a customer facing world. Requirements given in 2020, if you deliver them in 2022 without accepting any changes, client doesn't need it anymore. So this model has got a lot many challenges like this. Even ops teams face challenges because this methodology is slow. They have to maintain the server for longer duration. Servers should be maintained running for longer duration, which is again a challenge if you have to do that manually. Poor configuration management, no control over the systems, no proper configuration management. Configuration management is a separate concept which we'll be learning. So even that doesn't work, right? Also no proper monitoring. Everything is manual. So manually monitoring the systems is again a challenge, right? These are all the challenges posed by this waterfall methodology. How to overcome the challenges of this waterfall methodology? How are waterfall challenges overcome? Anyone?
Using agile model.
Yes, exactly. That's where agile came in. Agile is another methodology. See, here the intention is not to teach you agile or waterfall. Okay, agile model, agile methodology came in to overcome these challenges. Yes, agile was successful to some extent. Like, yes, it was successful in overcoming the challenges of dev team. But challenges of ops team were still there. Means we need some other methodology. That's where DevOps came in, which can overcome the challenges of both the teams? Yes, it can. But before going and talking about DevOps right away, let me also help you understand a little bit about Agile. Yes, it can overcome the challenges, but how is it possible? Yes, it is possible because Agile implements the concept called continuous development, continuous testing, and continuous integration. What is meant by that? See here, it implements a concept of continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration. Actually, in DevOps, there will be release every week or every alternative week there will be a release. Code is always stable and ready for deployments, right? Bug fixing is faster because let's say code is a bug fixing is faster. Code is developed today. It's not going to be tested after 6 months. Immediately it would be tested. How is that possible? Let me tell you. Suppose on week 1, in Agile, code will be developed in bits and parts, in chunks. On week 1, a set of code A is developed. Okay, week 2, this particular bit of code A will be tested. Meanwhile, developers are not sitting idle. They will be developing another bit of code B. On week 3, this B will be tested. Again, developers will be working on C. Again, on week 4, some point of time, A plus B will be combined and tested. Then only it's complete product, right? So if you notice, every week, development testing are happening. Means both development and testing are happening parallelly every week. That's called iteratively or parallelly. Okay, immediately testing is happening. So bug fixing becomes faster. Also, because every week code is developed, it would be also sent to the end users or sent to the client for review, for feedback. So code is always stable and ready for deployment. Every week the code is released and with feedbacks next week code will be developed and so on. So this process of development, testing happening parallelly, iteratively, continuously is called continuous development, continuous testing. Continuous integration means any new code tested will be merged, any new code developed will be merged into the system and the entire system will be tested again. Then only it makes complete product. It makes more sense, isn't it? So this is the concept implemented in DevOps, and hence it can overcome challenges of dev team. But challenges of ops team were still there, right? Got it, everyone? So that's where again DevOps came in. So DevOps came in, and DevOps can overcome all the challenges faced by both development team and ops team, because in DevOps we have the complete automation. Meaning, in what is DevOps now? Let's try to understand what is DevOps. DevOps is nothing but continuous development. Just give me 1 second. Continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, along with the continuous deployment and continuous monitoring. Means any change made by developers. Okay, developers will write a code. There is a separate team of developers. They will write the code. Once they write the code, how you take the complete process till production, till deployment to production table. This whole process of automation is called DevOps. So what are the process involved? Continuous development means developers write the code, testers write the test cases, execute the test cases, integrate it, deploy it, monitor it. So this complete process of automation is called DevOps. Yes, here in this process, DevOps engineers are involved. Whoever knows the process of automation, whoever know the tools, whoever know the strategies can work as a DevOps engineer, right? So this is what is DevOps. So thereby to eliminate the drawbacks of the traditional methodologies, also deployments becomes faster because you are automating the whole thing, right? We are automating the complete process. But how is that possible? That's what we'll be learning in our course. And why companies need this? Yes, obviously they need faster deployments, quality products, because see, qualitative products, because everything is automated, no manual intervention. Also, every change they make will go through the whole process of testing, integrating, deployment to first deploy to lower environments than to higher environments. Obviously, quality increases, faster deliveries, right? And the whole process automated. Yes, 24/7 automation possible. This is called actually the CI/CD pipeline. Initially, to design this pipeline, you may need 5 or 6 people. Once this is designed, you just need 1 or 2 to monitor it. Means manual work is eliminated, right? Humans were replaced by automation. So the strongest who have this automation skill will survive in the market in the coming future. Nowadays, almost every company, like almost all the gigantic companies, are already implementing it. Small, mid-sized companies were also implementing it. In a couple of years, by 2024, every project will step into DevOps methodology. So it is a right time to invest your time, effort, and learn such a skill. Who the strongest, the person with those strongest skills will survive in the market in the near future. Like I said, yes. So you need to master the skills. You need to master the process of automating the code to production by going through all this process automatically. That's what we will be learning. So some of you, like whenever, like I have lot many questions regarding, some of you may be having question like, okay, like I'm a developer for 10 years, am I eligible for it? Obviously you are working in this part till now. Okay, now if you know this process of automation, yes, you can work in this automation process. Similarly, you are a tester, you are writing test case, still you are eligible to work in this automation process. Anyone can work in this automation process provided you know the tools, you know the strategies, you know the right methodology to do. So basically, what is DevOps? It's a methodology, it's a process. DevOps is a methodology, is a process where you have development, testing, integration happening simultaneously, iteratively. Every week there will be development, testing, integration, deployment happen, and then monitor. Understood now what is DevOps? Who are eligible? Some of you might be having a question. I'm not interested in coding. Can I be a dev? Yes, if you know this process of automation, you can be a dev. You don't need to write the code. Here there is a separate team of developers who write the code. Am I making sense? I believe I have answered many of your questions. Or still confusions? Any questions here?
I have a question. So, like the environments, like when environments go down, the DevOps team actually do some fixes and they actually fix the environments and the service up. So, how does it happen in the continuous deployment part for DevOps?
See, actually, the way of deployments have changed. Actually, in DevOps methodology, the way of deployments are totally different than the traditional approach. So once you know how deployments happen in the DevOps methodology, your question will be answered, right? So just understand,
Okay.
yes, even automating the infrastructure, making the deployments, making the infrastructure stable and steady, all this will be handled through DevOps engineers by automation, right?
Okay.
So it eliminates
Yes.
all the manual work of just having a separate team to manage the infrastructure, maintain the infrastructure. It all removes all these overheads. How is this possible? Once you know the actual process of deployment, you will know it. So today, like I said, this is an overview or else a big picture of what happens and all. Okay, how it happens? Yes, day by day we have to do. To create the CI/CD in our class, to complete this pipeline also, it takes a month. So every day you keep learning, you increase, like you just get the dots connected, you get the clarity on subject.
So, ma'am, the role of infrastructure developer will also get eliminated.
Hmm?
So, the
The
role of
developers team is separate. Developers team is separate. They write the code. Okay, you are talking about developers who write the code in .NET or some PHP code. They develop the website, they develop the front end and all. This team is always there. They
yes,
write the code. They hand over the code to develop ops team. Earlier in the traditional approach, once the code is ready, what this dev team is doing, they're handovering this to ops teams. They have to configure the infrastructure, install the server services, they have to deploy it, which takes a lot of time. But now developers will hand over this application to DevOps team. So who is a DevOps team? DevOps team know all the tools, all the automation process. So they know how to make this deployments faster. Unlike earlier, they don't install and configure manual and all. They have the automation process. So they will make the application, they'll deploy the applications and make it available for end users automatically. This is the change. This is the traditional approach where they used to hand it over to ops team, and yeah, ops team have to get instructions for dev team which are not completely clear, they are not crystal clear, they have to work on it, figure it out and all. But now dev team will hand over the application to ops team, they know the complete process of deploying it automatically very quickly. That's the difference. Dev team is still there who write the code and develop the application. Testing
The
team is also, testers team is also there who will write the test cases. But how to automate the test case execution, how to implement this pipeline, that's where DevOps comes in. Tell me,
so
please.
the ops team role will get eliminated slow and due to DevOps.
Eliminated in the sense it depends on the project. In some projects, if you are having your infrastructure on-prem, means if companies are managing their own data centers instead of cloud. Okay, what is cloud and all we'll discuss as we go by. But as you posed a question here, let me tell you, if your infrastructure is on-prem, the infrastructure should be managed, right? So separate ops team is there who is taking care of this infrastructure. In some companies, or in majority of the companies nowadays, infrastructure is on cloud. Okay, to manage this infrastructure, some companies have a separate team called ops team, or else even DevOps team can manage the infrastructure on cloud. So it depends, it's not eliminated. What is happening, those ops guys are learning DevOps and they were working as DevOps engineers. Elimination means they were upscaling, they were upgrading their skills. Got it? So this ops team is now a DevOps team who know this strategy. Or else if you don't know the skills, they might be eliminated, new team might be recruited as DevOps team. I believe that answers your question. Yes, but yeah, if your question is an ops team without a DevOps skills are getting eliminated, yes, that's true. That's going to happen. That's happening nowadays. That keep on continuing till everyone knows DevOps skill set. So they are upgrading their skills.
Right, got it.
Right. So yeah, now that we understood why DevOps came in, what is DevOps came in, let's talk about the all of this we have just discussed. DevOps is nothing but development team, QA, ops team. It means that yes, they work as a single team because development coding happens every day, every week. They work as a single team with proper collaboration. Okay, developers can interact directly with the DevOps people. DevOps people can interact with QA or dev team. They work as a single team with no blame game. They work with a proper collaboration and proper understanding. Thereby, it eliminates the gap between the teams. Means it eliminates the gap means that doesn't mean that a DevOps person should go and write the code and all. No, they know the process. They know the challenges. They work in a friendly environment. So yeah, waterfall methodology, like we discussed, gathering, analysis, coding, design, coding, testing, delivery. Okay, we have discussed about the drawbacks of this. And then Agile came in. Agile, there'll be something like a sprints, right? Every week there'll be a sprint, there'll be deliveries, feedback. Depending on the feedback, the process will go on. And why DevOps came in? It eliminates the drawbacks of traditional methodologies. It helps the team collaborate well. It automates a complete workflow. Complete workflow. Once developer write the code and tester write the test cases. Now, how to integrate the code, how to build the code automatically, how to run the test cases. We don't write the test case, but you need to know automating, running the test case in the pipeline. All of them will be learning here. So automate the complete workflow. That's what is DevOps. It's a development approach. It's a methodology where continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, continuous deployment and monitoring happens. And yeah, when you compare Agile with Waterfall and DevOps, Agile methodology, you have design, coding, testing, and deployment. But in Agile, you have design, coding, testing iteratively, parallelly, or continuous. But deployment is manual at the end. But then came DevOps, wherein you have continuous deployment as well. See, have you ever wondered how some applications like Amazon, Facebook shows some features very quickly? Right, overnight they could introduce a new feature. How is that possible? That's what is DevOps means. Coding is done immediately, tested, deployed, integrated and deployed and reaches the end users. And that's why you could see a new feature overnight. Suppose some chavos is happening in the country or some pandemic is there like COVID 2 years back, right? We could see lot many features popping up overnight. How is that possible? How could they introduce a new feature overnight? Right? All of a sudden. That's what is DevOps. Developers write the code, test it immediately, integrate, deploy, make it available for end users. Also, there are again different deployment strategies which we'll be learning in our Kubernetes. Like not complete code is deployed or provided end users. They might be providing it to some regions. Have you ever noticed some of the features may be available for US in the US region? Some of them may not be available in India, and in India it might be available in a couple of days later, right? Take any product, any application, you might have seen this, right? For the region, for US region, some features might be available, not for other regions, or like it depends. So means they were deploying to a certain region only. Once it was successful in that region, they'll deploy it, they'll make it available for the region. Data mining is totally different, Rajesh. Data mining is totally different from DevOps. It's related to data jobs, like a data analyst, data scientist, and so on. That's totally different. So yeah, now that we understood why DevOps came in and like what it does on a high level, roles and responsibilities of DevOps person. Let's suppose you are working as DevOps. Your role is to work on the CI/CD pipeline, automating the code to deployment. Code to deployment to different environments. In this process of the automation or in the CI/CD pipeline, you'll be working. You may have to configure the new stages, you may have to modify the existing stages, you may have to monitor this pipeline. Not only that, when your application is monitoring, do you remember just now we have seen like DevOps is nothing but continuous development, continuous testing, continuous integration, along with the continuous deployment and continuous monitoring. So you may be asked to work at any stage. Any stage means continuous development means developers write the code. Once they write it, the code, integrate into the pipeline, run the test cases automatically, integrate it automatically, deploy it. Once deploy, monitor. So once it is monitored with some tool, suppose the tool is giving some feedback like so and so resources are less on the system. Monitoring means it checks the level of resources, the availability of resources, the health of the resources and all. So it might be sending you some report. Okay, if something goes wrong, let's say disk space is 100% completed. Okay, you need to take some steps of cleaning the disk or else revoking the error and so on. So you may have to work at any stage in this pipeline. It doesn't mean, see, don't think continuous development means you need to write the code. No. Once developers write the code, how to implement, integrate it in the pipeline. Right? So these are the areas of work you do. From tomorrow, we'll be starting with each tool. Okay. So first we'll be learning a tool thoroughly from basics till advanced concepts. Like first we'll learn about architecture, then how the tool is used, pros and cons, and then we'll learn the tool thoroughly, then add it to the pipeline. So then learn second tool, add it. So we'll zoom into each section, we'll learn each phase thoroughly, and we progress so that you would be ready to work on this pipeline in any stage. Right? So those are the roles and responsibilities of a DevOps person. And yeah, what are the skills and tools a DevOps person should know? Let's also go through that. Yeah. See, these are all the different tools we'll be learning here, like a version control systems like Git, build automation tool Maven, continuous integration tool Jenkins, containerization tool like Docker, infrastructure as a code tool. We'll be learning both Ansible and Terraform. Container orchestrator tool Kubernetes and Swarm will be learned here. Continuous monitoring tool Prometheus and Grafana, and cloud computing services like AWS. All these services will be covered here. right? So all these services will be covered. And yeah, see, you might have heard about so many tools under version control systems, like there was a SVN, Gate, DFS, Perforce, and so on. So you can learn the one tool in each category. If you master one tool in each category, you can switch to other tools very easily. You don't need to learn all the tools. And also here we were learning the tools which have great demand in the market, the most widely used tools. So yes, you are in the safe hands learning it. Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Ansible, Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm, Prometheus, Grafana, all these tools will be covered to an advanced level so that you could really implement them in the project. Also, see, certain tools, if you master a single tool, per se Terraform or Kubernetes, they are having a huge demand in the market. So learning certain tools or mastering certain tools also can help you a lot. And also in the coming months, like we were in the September, month of September, from October again, there'll be a lot of calls, a lot of openings for DevOps. So if you, this is the right time to learn. Now if you start learning, you will be taking at least 2 months, let's say till October, or by November you will be ready, where you'll be having a lot of calls, a lot of openings in the month of November, December, January. That's where you'll most of the recruitment happens. So there's a right time to learn the skills or upgrade your skills. Any questions in this part from anyone?
And just a question, like the way DevOps works in AWS, like is it a bit different in Azure services too?
No, see, the DevOps is a methodology. Like already said, it's a methodology, it's a process. Okay, so this methodology is same whether you implement it in AWS or whether you implement it on Azure or on-prem servers, it is same. Only the environment is different. Okay, coming to services, AWS services, there are each cloud provider offers certain services specific to DevOps or for any other service. Let's say there are some AWS database services, there are some Azure database services. So yeah, each cloud provider offers some services specific to particular tool also. Similarly, here also there are certain AWS services which you can implement in DevOps, but that's confined only for AWS, right? So we'll be also learning them. And if you learn some services on AWS, those services are similar in other environments also, other cloud also. So also companies are not looking for people to know cloud, AWS, Azure, GCP. No. They are looking for people with one cloud and the DevOps skill set. That will do, because if you know AWS, you can easily switch and work on Azure. That's what companies are looking for. Because tomorrow another new cloud may come up. It's not that you just keep on learning everything. You should be able to work the similar tools and the similar strategies. That's what companies are looking for.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, please tell me.
Hello, Prerna.
Yeah, hi Kiran, please tell me.
Abasa. అది ప్రేరణ క్లినిక్ కాదండి
Sorry?
దాని
Okay, so yeah, these are the tools we'll be learning, and one more thing is, yes, in this course we'll be also learning Linux basics. Some of the Linux basics, certain Linux basics are necessary, as we'll be building our infrastructure on Linux. Okay, so even we'll be learning it. If you're a completely newbie to Linux, you need not worry. Okay, get relaxed, stay relaxed. We'll be doing everything from the basics. So that is also will be covered in the course.
Yeah, Preeti, I have a doubt. With respect to the are you covering kind of like whenever the any major happen, one pull request is one branch to other branch, automatically the respective Jenkins job will be triggered. Will it be covered?
Yes, yes, all those advanced concepts will be covered.
Like the pull request depends on the pull request.
Yes, yes. Pull requests, webhooks on GitHub, scheduling the jobs automatically, triggering based on the pull
So you are
request.
using GitHub or Bitbucket?
GitHub. If
GitHub.
you know
Okay.
GitHub, again, it's similar to Bitbucket. Everyday class recordings will be shared. Okay, don't worry. Once you register for the course, once you enroll, you'll be getting class recordings, then notes and everything. I'll talk about it. Give me a few minutes. Any more questions?
The thing is,
Yeah.
Preeti, actually in tool wise, everyone knows because in like in YouTube also we can get in the tool wise because
Hmm.
we want to know the like integration of the each tool and how the real time in like in real time scenarios we work that integration and examples we required because in tool wise we can get it in the over the web as well, right?
Yes, Kiran, sure. That's what I told you in the beginning. I think you missed the introduction in the beginning part.
Okay,
I
maybe. Yeah,
already
maybe.
told you this is completely practical oriented. Okay, this is a day one, so I need to give you what is what an overview. So we were discussing. From today onwards, we'll start doing hands-on. We'll have our hands dirty by the end of the course. Provided you should do the hands-on, you should put effort from your end. See, like I told you, this is the CI/CD pipeline we are working in our course on multiple applications, not on a single application. This kind
Yes.
of integration you don't find anywhere in YouTube or somewhere. Maybe a random scenario may be there, but not the complete full-fledged course in a systematic way. It makes a lot of difference. Okay, so yeah, like I already mentioned also, it's not just learn Git, okay, move on, just then go and learn Maven. No, after learning Git, okay, first how we'll be designing our course. First we'll be learning Git. Okay, learn it thoroughly again from basics till advanced concepts, because Git is used in the pipeline. Also Git is used to version control your files, maybe Terraform config files, Kubernetes files, all of them should be version controlled. So first we'll learn Git how to version control the files. Then we'll also learn Git to put it in the pipeline. Okay, once we learn Git and how it can be used in the pipeline, then we'll take up Maven. We'll learn again Maven completely and how to put in integration with Git. Why you should do it, how do you do it, when you should do it, completely we'll be learning. Then we'll be learning Jenkins, again add it to the pipeline. This is how we keep on learning each tool and add it to the pipeline. So by the time we finish this pipeline, it would be nearly 1 or 1.5 months. We'll be doing the same pipeline on multiple applications simultaneously, so that you'll be getting a thorough understanding on different applications, how the where comes the change when the application changes, where each come tools, how each tool fits in, we'll be learning. See here, this is your CI/CD pipeline we were talking about. Developers write the code and put it in Git. Why they put in Git, what is Git, we'll discuss that later. Okay, I'm not going into each tool now, just giving you an overview. Okay, don't confuse, I didn't understand what is Git, I didn't explain that yet. Okay, so developers write the code and place it in Git. Now it will be pulled, continuous builds, here continuous development, continuous building, continuous testing, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, and the feedback is sent, and this process keep on continuing. Whenever developer make a new code, this process, whole process triggers automatically. You don't need to do even single click also. Even without a single click, means you don't need to write a trigger also. Whenever developer write the code, the whole process automated. So in this process, Git is used, Jenkins, Maven, some test automation tool where testers will write the test cases. You will run those test cases here. Then Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Terraform, how it comes into the pipeline, which tool should be used where, all of them will be learned. It takes quite a long time. It's a long way to go. You need to be patient, put your effort, stay with me, follow the classes, follow the pace. That's what you need to do. Continuous monitoring. Once application is deployed, monitor and send the feedback to respective teams. Right? So this is where all the tools comes in. And where do you create this pipeline? You may create it on-prem, on Azure, on AWS, whatever it is. If pipeline doesn't make any change with your environment. And yes, of course, we'll be also learning certain AWS services, particularly Kubernetes paid service, EKS. Majority of them will not teach this because it's a paid service. But yes, I am covering this in the course because this is what you see in reality. In companies, they go for some paid services like EKS. Whether you do hands-on on it or not, it's up to you. But I will be teaching this, which will help you to clear your interviews on Kubernetes. I can also help you in Kubernetes certifications if you are interested. I can guide you. I can help you with the approaches. Okay, which is going to be a definitely a plus, which is going to be definitely an edge over others. First of all, your profile should be selected. Your profile should be shortlisted for interviews. Means you should have some certifications. You should have some worthy enough tools like EKS. majority of the clusters in Kubernetes in the real world are EKS. So you are learning all of them, which is definitely helping you. And also Terraform, real scenarios, how Terraform can create EKS cluster for you, all of them. So EKS and other services on AWS like code commit, code deploy, code build, through which how you can create a pipeline without using tools also, we'll be learning you. So definitely that's worthy enough. That makes the training different from others where all the real scenarios will be covered.
Any code quality checks kind of like is integrating here?
Code quality comes with a build automation tool. Okay, build automation tool is taken care by developers. It's a developer tool. You have nothing to do with the code check code quality. Those are tasks of developers. Okay, let's say you are a DevOps person, but you are coming from dev background. You may be assigned such tasks, but if you are just a DevOps person who is working on automation process, you will not be working on that. That needs a development background or development experience. Those people will be allocated with such tasks.
But you have to automate the
We
end to
talk
end,
about,
right?
huh? Come again, please.
But end of the day, DevOps guy has to automate the
See,
complete
end to
process, right?
end means this is not into DevOps. Code checks doesn't come in DevOps. Here continuous development is happening, continuous builds is happening. Like continuous builds, in the continuous builds itself, there might be code quality, code check happens. This depends on the build automation tool chosen by developer. Developer will choose the build automation tool, and if you need to perform code quality code check, developers will configure that in the build tool. You have to run that job in the pipeline. That's all. Running the job in the pipeline will do, anyone can do. I'm talking about
Okay.
including those steps that is taken care by developers in the build automation tool. That doesn't come under DevOps. To get a clear clarity on it, let me tell you. See, developer wrote the code. Okay, they'll
Yes.
also create, they'll also configure build automation tool. For build automation tool, they'll have some build file. In that build file, if they have to perform code check, yes, they have to include those stages of code checks, code reviews and all. Okay, if they have included that in the build file, then you can include it in your pipeline as a DevOps person. But who will do this build file and configuring those stages? Developer have to do that. Got it?
Yeah.
Anyway, see
Hi, ma'am.
here, pipeline will be doing like once developer write the code, we'll be pulling it. We'll be doing continuous compilation, compile the code. Okay, package the code. Okay, compiling package is called building, compiling, packaging, running some unit test cases or running some functional. All these stages, all these stages we are going to create. Compile, package, run unit test cases, run functional test cases and all. Similarly, here you can also include code review. But if you have to include code review step means, yes, developer have to configure it in the build tool. We'll learn it, okay? Once you know compiling, packaging, you'll also get idea of how code review can perform.
Any artifactory management tool here?
Artifactory management tool can be a Nexus, or you can also store it on any server. Artifactory management tool is not here, but I'll show you how to put it in the artifactory management tool. Once you package here, your artifacts can be sent to the artifactory.
Do we need to know AWS, Amazon Cloud, first?
I'm covering this, right? No need to learn beforehand. We will be covering AWS services also in this course.
Okay.
You don't need to learn it beforehand. So this is the CI/CD pipeline. This is where we'll be working. Yeah, this pipeline will be creating from the scratch. And yeah, like I said, from tomorrow we'll be beginning hands-on how to set up your lab. Where is your lab? Yes, we'll be creating our lab on AWS. Okay, we'll be creating a free account on AWS and we'll be using those instance on AWS. What is cloud? How to create an in-situ instance? Everything I'll be teaching you in the class. Okay, also complete documentation is available in the Google Drive. I'll be also sharing you the complete documentation with you, including the interview questions, including the additional references, everything will be provided here. right? This is the complete drive I'm going to provide, where you have resumes, sample resumes, interview questions, lab setup documents on AWS, everything you have in here, right? So you'll be getting access to this drive. Also, everyday class recordings will be provided so that you can do the hands-on. See, you might be still having lot many questions from your end, like how do we do the lab, does it charge. We'll be using our lab on free AWS account, so will not be charged anything for it. So how to create a free account, how to set up our lab, how to use the instances, what is meant by building. Yeah, you may be, we didn't zoom into each section here, just a high level and overview, that's all. Okay, so what is meant by continuous builds, what is meant by compiling the code, what is meant by packaging, what other stages you could include, what stages we can skip, what are the mandatory stages in the pipeline. All of them will be working in detail. Okay, don't worry and don't get into that part as of now. It's just day one. We were at the phase of understanding what is what. Okay, things goes into the place, things fall in the place as we go by. So like I said, yeah, you'll be getting complete documentation, the commands and the hands-on support you'll get. We'll be creating a WhatsApp group, like I said, for a support during hands-on. Anything else from your end? Any questions? And
How
everyday
cloud
class recording will be shared. Tell me.
how cloud computing is different from DevOps?
Cloud computing is you will be learning only about AWS or any cloud services. Like what is EC2 service, what is a VPC service, how do you configure those services, how do you create those services, or how do you work with those components. There are some hundreds of services on AWS. Okay, so majority of the services will be taught there. That's a cloud component. Only cloud components you will be learning there. There you don't have this DevOps tools and tool stack. Here our main agenda is learning DevOps methodology, DevOps tools, DevOps strategies, so that you could implement the DevOps methodology and automation process on any cloud environment. That is the main agenda here. So whatever services needed for this process, those services of cloud will be learning here. Understood?
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, every day spend some time for hands-on. Okay, complete hands-on, rigorous hands-on is important, particularly if you are new to certain tools. Additional effort is required from your end, and I am here to help you. So that is all from my end for today. Any more questions you have, any concerns you have, you can ask me.
In Kubernetes, are you covering RBAC kind of thing concepts?
RBAC comes under administrative part. RBAC, you will be getting an idea of what is RBAC rules and all.
Okay, that is part of CKA, right?
Right, administrative tasks.
Okay, okay. Ingress, you're covering, right?
This will be covered.
Okay.
See, whoever having questions on the course content, I think you might have gone through it, but still, let me share it from my end. Whoever have not gone through, this is the course content we'll be going through. Okay, if you want, you can message me on WhatsApp. I'll share you the complete topics, the tools we are learning. What are the topics on Kubernetes you have? What are the topics on EKS we have? Okay, Terraform and all the AWS services.
So what is ECR here?
Container registry service. Just let me know. I'll share it in the WhatsApp. Whoever want to go through, you can also go through it. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the Git. Okay, we may not be going in the order as per this document. We'll be pick up the order which is best, which best suits everyone. So we'll be starting with version control systems tomorrow, and then Linux basics, and then Jenkins, and so on, and then the cloud services. Yeah, you can ping me on WhatsApp. I'll share you the content.
Yeah, hi Preeti, good morning.
Yeah, hello. I know who
Yeah,
is this?
yeah, this is Madhugar.
Yeah, hi Madhukar. Tell me please.
Yeah, are you covering the scripting language?
Yeah, shell scripting is covered.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, shell scripting will be covered. And also, whenever we were talking about certain tools like Terraform, Kubernetes, the respective scripting will be covered. Like if you talk
Okay.
about Kubernetes, will be writing files in YAML. YAML will be covered. For Terraform, HCL will be covered. Yes, all the required scripting will be there.
Okay. Okay, Preeti. Thank you.
Is Python is also necessary in this for scripting?
Python is not mandatory for DevOps. Okay, Python will not be included here.
Okay.
Yes, everyday class recordings will be shared, Swaroop, as well as the notes. Okay, once you get registered, you'll be getting the notes and also the recordings of every day. So that's all from my end. Any questions or anything, you can also reach me. You can reach the organizer, reach your organizer and get the slot confirmed. Get enrolled to continue from tomorrow. All right then. Bye everyone. Have a great day. See you all. Thank you all for joining.